got to see, baby. I see you coming all the time.
Yes,
You bring it when you come on in the room.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Oh,
Really
you're welcome,
it.
doll. You are
Yes.
so welcome. I am so looking forward to speaking with you because I love your work.
Thank you. I love yours too. You're such a great inspiration. I promise.
Oh, thank you, love.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Well, honey, I tell you, when I looked at your information and looked at your pictures, you're stunning. You're a stunning young woman. You need to get out of Atlanta.
I really do.
You need to get out of the Atlanta market. You don't need to be here.
I believe it. Where do you think I should be?
Not here.
Not
Not here.
For sure.
No, not here. No. I think you could do, I think you would do well in LA.
Okay. You know, it's crazy because I actually thought about that once upon a time, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see you having representation in LA and doing, I think you definitely could do the international market very well.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see you in Milan.
You said you used, I'm sorry.
I can see you in Milan.
Oh.
Yes, baby. Yes. Look at you.
Yes.
Yes, I dreamed that for you. I prayed for that for you.
Thank you. And I accept it. I'm receiving it all.
Okay, take it all in. Take it all in.
I'm going to take it all in. I love it already. Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about you.
So I've been modeling for about 9 years now. I actually started my modeling career with John Casablanca. That's where I attended modeling school. That's pretty much where I got all my little sauce from. And then over the years, I've just been kind of like perfecting my craft, learning myself, the things that I like, the things that I don't like, playing around with folk poses and faces and things of that sort. So it's been a lot of great things. And it's been it's been challenging for sure to start out with just, kind of doing everything yourself. It can be a little challenging, but it's definitely rewarding nevertheless.
Well, when you feel challenged, how do you fight through that challenge?
I fight through that challenge by really pep talks. I do words of affirmations a lot. Keeping my creative brain, intrigued with the things that I have going on outside of modeling and things of that sort. So really, and I work out too. So anytime I face challenges, it's like I'm praying, I'm doing the work, and I'm also just, kind of going with the flow of things with a sense of direction, of course.
Of course. Yeah, well, but there's nothing wrong with being willy-nilly every now and then.
I know, right? I know, because you can't always
it's
have
a little
plan,
fun when you can be willy-nilly and just don't give a damn.
Yes, but I love it though. I've been enjoying the journey thus far. It started out a lot more challenging than at first, but now it's building up. I'm really loving the energy that I've been receiving as a model, from building connections with, photographers and other models and things of that sort. So I've just really I've been loving the model love. I really have. It's
you know how I feel, model love.
Yes,
model love. Gotta have it. There's no point in not having model love. We gotta have
point at all.
I've been in the game a long time, and there's no way in the world I would put people through what I went through in the beginning.
Right. Definitely.
So when you were challenged in the beginning, what type of adversities did you face for yourself?
I would say, I know this is not really a big challenge, but I'm just going to put this out here because we do have a lot of, and this is not to be shady or anything like that, but I feel like we do have a more diverse makeup artistry in the model world, and not a lot of makeup artists know how to paint brown skin. That was one of the challenges that I had at first when I was modeling for an Atlanta agency. I mean, it was great and everything like that, but it's just like, it's very ghost-like. So I will say that has been a bit of a challenge as well. But the main challenge that I had, I would say, when I first started out was purchasing services through photographers. You know, if I pay for a service, I don't want to have to fight you to get my pictures, you know, even if they're unedited or edit photos, I don't want to have to fight you to get those photos that I paid for. And not only that, but I'm not paying you $300 for 3 edits.
I know that's right.
That's absurd, okay? Because we both put in this work together. We both created this magic together. So let's, you know, let's work together on this. So I feel like that has been one of my biggest challenges starting out was, you know, having to fight with photographers to get my you know, creative images back. And now I have, well, I would say I prayed about it for sure then. And now things have definitely progressed in the right direction. I don't have to fight anybody to get anything back. You know, the photographers that I'm working with, they're just so generous and, you know, actually working with me and wanting to see me win and help me build my portfolio and vice versa. So I'm just really blessed and I'm thankful, honestly.
So did you start out doing a lot of TFPs, talent for print? Or did you just directly go out and just start paying for photo shoots?
Pretty much. Oh, okay. So I started out doing mostly, because when I was with About Faces, we didn't really do any photo shoots. We did photo shoots in the agency, but they pretty much scouted us for jobs. So I found myself doing maybe like acting work a little bit more so than modeling. And then I started just kind of like going out, paying photographers and doing, you know, my own thing pretty much.
Cool. What did you find the hardest thing was when you were breaking into the industry?
Oh, okay. So this is something that we don't hardly ever see on the runway anymore. That back, when you're walking on the runway and they have you to lean all the way back with those heels on, oh, that one right there. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
I love me a lean.
You sure we gotta lean all the way back like this?
I love me a lean.
Over any moment.
Yeah, you gotta have that center. You gotta have that center straight.
Yes, and they was outrageous with it. I was like, oh Lord! And I just recently found out that one of the male models that I was talking, he was like, you didn't do the broomstick, and I was like, what's the broomstick? Because we didn't have no guidance. You just had to break your back and get it in there. We didn't do no broomsticks and stuff, and you don't let nobody be late to class because then we all had to stand on our toes for like 10 minutes at a time, and it was oh my gosh. But it definitely built character for sure.
And you went to John Casablanca?
Yes.
So did I.
Yes, I love it.
Yes, I did. So we're alone. Yeah, back in the day, I sure did. I still have my little certificate and everything.
That's great. See, I was so upset because I did not stay throughout the entire program. I was so young and I was still dependent on my parents. So it was a lot that played into that. But I definitely still have my books. I still have my bag. I have pretty much everything that they provided for us. And even the knowledge behind it. It was so knowledgeable. And I just really appreciate them for actually giving me that model etiquette because not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have a model.
That is so true.
Yes.
And I love your professionalism.
Thank you.
Behind the scene. I mean, you're professional regardless. I mean, not just behind the scenes, but on the stage. You bring that. I remember I told you were like a young me.
Yes.
Okay, remember I told you that?
Because we were serving, honey.
Baby, you were serving it up. You were serving it up in that mini skirt.
I loved everything about it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a real good time.
We did. We had too much of a good time to not get no picture.
I know, man. I know.
Hey, where my glasses at?
How do you feel about that when you don't get pictures from when you're promised or guaranteed or said How do you feel about that? Because I have some ill feelings about that.
Yes, I do too. And at first I was being very much so understanding about. I'm being understanding about it now, but at first I was probably a little too overstanding, because I'm just an integrity-based person, and if you tell me that, you know, something is going to get done, I'm I'm expecting for it to be done.
Absolutely.
I'm not expecting for you to back out of something that we had already agreed upon. And I put my all into this, you know, I've worked hard for it. And now we're here. And now you're telling me that, oh, there's no real work to show for it, or there's no pay to show for the work that you've done, or something like that. And it does seem like a big slap to the face, because it's like, you know, do I want to work with you again because your word is not really your bond, like how you say it is, and things of that sort. So it's a lot that comes into play. However, within this business, you definitely have to be stern, but you also have to be a little lenient as well. Like you have to be understanding, and you have to just discern wisely. Like, yeah, I understand, you know, the situation and all of the technicalities, you know, based on what you have going on. However, I'm going to make an executive decision to not really work with you again on this project, or for future projects for that matter. So
and you're absolutely right.
Right. You know, it really just all depends.
You're absolutely right. And I think that's where coming in with a contractual agreement makes a difference.
Right.
You know, if we came in with a contract in our hands, not necessarily for the producer, or one for the producer and one for the photographer, then there should not be any disruptiveness between us. Exactly. You know, because everybody knows where everybody is. You know, and I think that's a good thing to have, is a, you know, structured contract that you present to both people. You know?
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was going to say, if it's not going to be a contract in place for, you know, for those free events and things of that sort, I just feel like somebody there needs to be, you know, that structurable person to make sure things get done, because you have everybody within their own positions. Like you have your photographer, you have your hostess, you have the person who's pretty much over the entire show, but everybody has their own job. So if you just place somebody in that one particular spot that say, hey, I need you to make sure that things run smoothly. I need you to make sure that these models is out here, they're doing their thing. I need you to make sure that this photographer is on point with capturing the looks and stuff like that, and making sure that things just run smoothly. If they just had that one person set in place, things would be a lot more structured. The stress would very much so be at a minimum, because you're not placing all your stress on, or you're not placing all of your focus on one thing or multiple things at one time. You have a tunnel vision to the things that you need to get done, and so is everybody else. So I feel like that would help a lot.
Yeah, everybody would have their place, and everybody stay in their lane. You know, and the show would go a lot better. Look at that. Now, I love the cherry in the shoulder blade. I love it. I love that. Makes you want to just bite it.
Look, let me tell you, because I had so much fun shooting these. It was so hilarious, because it was actually the photographer's idea. Shout out to Nisha Cannon. Thank you. But we had so much fun creating this look, and it was her idea with the cherries and stuff like that. And so I was like, girl, you keep giving. She done gave me so many cherries to just, you know, kind of play around with. She was like, don't eat them for real. And I'm just over there eating them. I could not stop to save my life, but we had so much fun playing around with this shoot. The photos came out amazing. I was really excited.
The skin is popping, the eyelashes are you know, the eyebrows are rocking, and the lip is just perfect. It's just perfect. You know, look, all you needed was just that little tip of tongue.
You know, and I do have one like that.
I know you do. I know you do.
I do have one like that, but no, she is great though. She's phenomenal. And this is actually, yes, this was in that same shoot. We just did different looks, but they all came out great. I was
she captured you well.
Yes, this is our first shoot together, actually.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, she captured you real well.
Yes, and we hit it off wonderful. Now she's my cousin. She's stuck with me for life. So yes, I really had fun doing this shoot and everything. It was giving a little kinky, but
That's that's okay.
yes, it was so much
It's
fun.
it's all types. I love the assistant that you had with you. I can't remember her name.
Bubbles.
Bubbles. That was it.
That's what I call her. Name is Nisi, but that night she was Bubbles.
Yes, she was, because she was bubbling everywhere.
She was having everyone. I was like, all right, Bubbles, you doing your thing. You doing
Yes,
your
she was.
in here.
Yes, she was. And that's the way you should roll. I think that's, like you said, have your own photographer, your videographer, your assistant, your makeup artist. If you want to bring one, Bubbles was all that and more.
Yes, she
your
was.
Stylist. She was all three of them right there for you.
She was.
Yes, she was.
And thankfully, I don't know if they, I'm sure they taught you this too when you were at John Casablanca. But this is the reason why I have just been doing my own makeup, was because of them. They said, if you don't have a makeup artist, you don't have a hairstylist, you don't have just nobody there, and it's just you, and you have to get yourself ready, you need to learn how to get yourself ready. So I pretty much do all of my makeup looks for every shoot that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I wanted to point out as well, because I know a lot of people be like, oh, you don't ever tag a makeup artist and things of that sort, but I am the makeup artist.
Exactly. I
am.
So, Zahara, who did your face? Who beat your face? And I'm like, I beat my face.
Exactly. It's not hard.
It's not a hard thing to do, and I've had years of practice.
Exactly.
Years of practice to get it right.
Definitely. Who are you
influenced by? That's a good question. Who are you influenced by?
I am influenced by, overall, my influence comes from my long lifeline of women. I would say the start is my grandmother, who is no longer with me on my mom's side. And I'm also influenced by my mother as well.
Mm-hmm.
These are strong, beautiful women, and they are very much so God-fearing, love that to death. And they possess that poise and that elegance and just that energy that this world needs,
right,
as a feminine woman. And I feel like they have definitely instilled that within me, within this 23 years of me being alive. So they influence me the most, for sure.
And if you had to pick a star that was influencing you in the industry, who would that be?
Oh, that's going to be kind of hard, because I don't be looking up to people like that.
And it's okay. You can say nobody.
Yeah, I was trying to say probably nobody, only because I don't really idolize people. I feel like we're all humans, and yes, you have the wealth and things of that sort, or the riches. Not, I wouldn't necessarily say wealth, but you have the riches and things of that sort. Like, you have the materialistic things that everybody wants, but you don't really have the things that I see myself wanting or needing. You know what I'm saying? So
this
it's
man,
like, it's a bunch of materialisticness. Not P. Diddy, for sure.
Not P. Diddy.
Not the diddler.
Not P. Diddy.
But yes, so
only Lewis Jones.
Right. But that's kind of hard to say, though. Oh man.
Yeah, I can reach back and say that, I admired Iman for her grace and elegance. I'm a big Grace Jones fan, and I love her ferocity, and her ferociousness that she brings to the stage. I love Beverly Johnson's smile. I always wanted her smile. I love the tenaciousness of Diana Ross.
Okay.
I mean, these women to me were strong in my era,
right.
coming, and there wasn't that many of us in the industry at that time. But I mean, I'm looking throughout the history of who I am. Who did I hire? Of course, my mother. Of course, my grandmother. My Aunt Martha, who taught me all about bling. She was blinging before bling was popular.
Before bling was blinging.
Before bling was blinging, my Aunt Martha was blinging, okay?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
put on a caftan, mama buy a new caftan, and she go down in the hallways and, yes, how are you today? With her sassy self, you
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
and she'd be like, yes, my niece bought this for me from Hawaii.
And be rocking it too.
And be
like she went to
rocking it,
Hawaii
honey.
herself.
Wig maybe turn crooked, she wouldn't care. But she'd be so awesome in her little new gown and new caftan.
Yes.
You know, and that's before caftans were popular, you know, and she'd be rocking her florals and have on her little bling earrings going down the hallway. My Aunt Martha gave me my first pair of stilettos.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look,
She knew.
She knew it. You know, they were Italian leather, green crocodile Italian leather stilettos with a stacked heel.
I know those were bomb.
They were pointed. They were so pointed. We used to call them corner crunchers.
Corner
crunchers. Because the nose was long, real long and pointy.
They'd be
and
the
you
best
could get
one.
in the corner if you had to crunch a roach.
That roach ain't going nowhere.
That roach wasn't going nowhere with them shoes on. Baby, when I tell you I stepped in them stilettos, I that was it for me. It was over. You know, and then my next pair was a pair of burgundy stilettos and so on and so on and so on. That's why I got 350 pair of shoes.
And rocked all of them.
And I have worn them at least one time.
Right. That's all you need. It's a good one time to break them all in.
Yes, got to break them all in. They my babies.
Yes, definitely.
What Lewis and put up here now? Okay.
What does the
models
work ethic look like
for you?
Okay, for me, a model's work ethic would definitely be take care of yourself for sure. First and foremost, always make sure that your health is well. All right, because you do not want to be out here fainting. You do not want to be out here with the weak stomach. None of that. Like I had my first episode of fainting like a few weeks ago. Devastated. Okay, so that has been my number one priority as a model or an everyday woman, just living, is to take care of yourself for sure, because at the blink of an eye it can all be
what happened?
I didn't take care of myself. I left the house and I was so excited to do what I was going to hang out with a girlfriend, and we had planned that we would meet up and we would paint and things of that sort. And so I was so excited. I was like, I don't really have a lot of friends. So I'm like, I'm finally getting out of the house. I'm going to go paint, have a little girl time. I was really excited about it. And I didn't eat before I left the house, and I know better, but I still did it anyways. And so I'm out, I'm walking around and things of that sort. And then I finally get to her house and we painted, made it through the whole paint session. Then we started cooking. And I felt like I just needed to sit down for a moment. And so I did. And then I was just like, okay, well, let me go use the bathroom. Now, as I was walking to her bathroom, I just fainted in her hallway. Like everything just went pitch black. And I was like devastated. But it was a lesson to be learned for sure, to always, make sure I put myself first, regardless of the excitement that I have going on within my everyday life or just, within my reality. Just make sure you make sure you're good first.
Absolutely.
That's been my number one priority, regardless of, physically or mentally, emotionally. I'm taking the time for myself. So that's been a part of my work ethic. That's actually been number one for my work ethic. And secondly is to carry yourself if you're a woman, carry yourself as a woman.
Come on with it.
Carry yourself as a woman. Don't be out here, with your pants hanging off your booty, looking all raunchy and stuff like that. And this is no shade at all, but it's just like,
it's the truth.
Yeah, it is the truth, because some people walk around like they don't care about themselves, and it shows. And I never want to ever leave that impression on somebody, you know, that I don't care about myself. Even on the bummiest days, I'm still making the effort to look like somebody care about me. So,
or at least you care about yourself.
Exactly. Definitely practice makes perfect. I don't practice my walk as much as I used to, but I feel like I have earned that right, considering that when I first started doing, you know, modeling, I practiced that walk until I couldn't practice no more. I was so tired, my back was hurting, feet, calf, legs was hurt, but it's worth it though. It's worth it, saying, because even though that was my first fashion show when we met, nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. And so it just let me know that I have grown for sure. And another thing I would say is build self-confidence. Play around the mirror, get to know yourself, build your self-confidence up. Like if you I hear a lot of people be like, oh, I don't know how to pose, or you look so confident when you do this and that. It didn't just happen overnight, sweetheart. I can tell you. It took practice. It took work to get here. I literally sat here, played around in the mirror one day on my phone and was like, oh, I like that. I like the way that turned out. Maybe I'll try that next time, you know, I do a photo shoot. And then I try it next time I do a photo shoot and it just comes out flawless every time. And if it didn't, then you just kind of, you kind of go from there and you learn from your mistakes and you better it and you better it and you better it. Repetition.
Absolutely. But that's like learning anything.
Yes, look, let me tell you about this pose though, because I seen this pose. I'm gonna get enough by looking on Google for poses. But I looked on Google for this pose and I was like, oh, I really want to do this. Had no idea that it was going to be during this shoot, but I was like, I really want to do this pose. And then when we came across this bridge while we were at this Cascade Reserve, we came across this bridge. I was like, I wonder if I could execute it. And literally, my photographer, she was just like, just go for it, just fall into it. I love her so much. She's just go for it. Don't even think about it. Just go for it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. And so, you know, me being tall and having on those heels and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is so short. I'm about to break my back. So I looked uncomfortable. I was like, I'm gonna fall into this, but you better take this picture real quick. So the first picture that we took of this pose, it did not come out. She was just like, girl, you got to fix your face. She was like, you look pretty. She was like, you look crazy. I need you to relax your face and we'll try it again. So I said, okay, I'm gonna relax a little bit more, but this shit hurt. I need you to go ahead and get it. So, but we definitely captured it, and yeah, that's how that pose came about. One of the hardest.
This is so pretty too. I love you in color.
Thank you. This was the start of springtime, I do believe. This is working with 1201 Studios. His name is Mike. Yes. So, look, we had a great time during this shoot too, but those shoes are the most uncomfortable. Let's talk about uncomfortable shoes though, because we have to work through that uncomfortability.
Let's talk about it, because if the feet are hurting, it's hard to smile pretty through the feet hurting.
It is. It really is. But you still got to be in there.
Yeah, you do.
And, you know, that whole day when we did that shoot, I was actually ecstatic when we were finished because my feet was hurting so bad and I didn't bring any slides with me like a dummy, but it's okay. But when we was finishing that shoot, I was so happy. And oh Lord, I just had a whole brain fart. That's terrible.
Your feet were hurting. My
feet was hurting. That's what it was. So my feet was hurting, and the whole time I'm singing in my head, "Pretty hurts." So that was the highlight of that shoot for sure.
Wow.
That's what made me get through.
How do you maintain such a good, positive energy?
Take time for myself. Ignore everybody. No, I'm just playing.
No, hey.
But no, yes, I take time for myself. I do journal. I do meditate. I do. I want to say yoga, but it's more stretching than yoga. And I don't know, I learned myself or I just teach myself to not be alarmed or bothered by outside insignificance.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
No outside bullshit.
No,
Yeah, I can understand.
definitely.
I
Yes.
can understand that.
Yeah, you have to grow a thick skin for sure. And
Well, absolutely, in this industry.
yes, in this industry, yeah, I feel like it just in any industry. And because I'm kind of like semi in the medical field too, I feel like that plays a major part in my professionalism. And not only that, but just my positive attitude. Because I hate to use this, but sometimes you do come across people whose problems or whose troubles are a little bit more advanced than yours. And it's not to downplay the problems or the situation that you have going on in your life, but things could be worse. And you always just have to see the bigger picture. And I do believe that's what saves me every time, is me seeing the bigger picture and actually, going along with it and not being so down and out about things that I can't change.
Right. What other talents do you have?
What other talents do I have? I'm a woman of many talents, but the one that I like to say the most, I never like to sing in front of people though, but I do sing.
All right.
I do a little singing from
Don't
time
make me
to time.
put you on the spot now.
Don't put me on the spot. I love music though, so that's one of my favorite things to do when just whenever I can. I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm listening to music or whatever it is that I'm doing. So that has been my safe haven.
Did I see on your Instagram page that you're a mixologist?
I am a craft mixologist.
You can make me a nice Long Island iced tea.
I sure can. I can do a good Long Island iced tea, sweetheart. Okay, or if you want the Long Beach, I can do that too.
Yeah, I like your Long Island. I'm a Long Island girl.
I know that's right. But yes, I sure can. Let me know.
Oh, hey, never know.
Look, really though, what does success look like for you? Success looks like for me. I'm sorry. Look, I'm over here reading the questions going.
That's okay. I mean, he's putting them up. He's ahead of me. I mean, I'm coming up with the same questions, but he's just a step ahead of me.
Right. So success looks like for me. Oh Lord, I wake up one day and I just don't have to go to this 9 to 5. That's what success looks like.
Hey, that's a good goal.
Like I have a 9 to 5, but I don't really have to go and attend and be there, to really make things work in my life. That's what success looks like for me. Also, success is definitely one of those things that is more, I want to say it's more mental than physical at times. So that if I just, how can I put this? It's more mental than physical. That's the only way that I could put it, honestly. So it's, yeah.
Are you saying that mentally, is it a struggle?
It can be if you allow it to be. But if you, I will use this as an example because I feel like this is a good example. So you know how you tell yourself, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And, it becomes your reality because that's what you're consistently feeding yourself. But if you're consistently feeding yourself, the things that you believe will help you to be successful within your everyday life, then it will be just that.
Absolutely. It is. Success can definitely be a mindset.
Yes, for sure.
And if you're not giving yourself positive affirmation and you're not speaking it into fruition, then it can be daunting and it can be mentally fatiguing, because it's always that woe is me kind of mentality,
right?
Comes along with that. And that can lead to anxiety, that can lead to depression, that can lead to so many other things that become physical attributes of who you are, that you can't see the success anymore.
Exactly. And that's never what we want to get ourselves.
No, that's never where we want to be. As a model, what do you see your successes being?
Oh, okay. My success, I would say I'm definitely gonna rule because I make my own decisions. A lot of people can't say that, but I am very adamant about not doing things that's going to go against my personal values or my morals and things of that sort. So I feel like as long as I keep that in the forefront of my brain, I'm always going to find myself in any successful situation, and I'm going to win at anything I put my brain to, because that's just what I've set out for. And not only that, not only have I set out for it, but this is something I've also prayed on. And this is also that, something that I decided to do for myself on my own. I maybe didn't get there by myself, but I decided this for myself. And they saw the vision and they, went along with it. So I feel like that right there alone is just going to help me out a lot as a model.
And so when you foresee yourself in the future, say within the next 5 years, where do you see yourself in your success?
Where do I see myself
in 5 years?
In 5 years within this modeling industry, I would say, and this is going to be very much so generalized. Excuse me. I see myself ruling the runways, and you know what? Let me not even go there. I'm gonna say something that I've been hearing for the past few days. I see myself being America's next top model.
Oh,
that's what that's what I've been hearing on the split in another country, in Thailand, maybe.
Yes, in Thailand. Yes, in Thailand.
I see myself being in Jamaica. Modeling some of their good fashion out there in Africa, because
absolutely
have lovely fashion. I love it.
So yes, I love it too, and you would do well.
I see myself traveling, doing what I love, and then traveling with it as well. So that's where I see myself within the next 5 years for sure. Thank you so much for the help.
You're welcome. I see you inspiring others like you do now.
Oh, thank you. You know what? That's really big. That's really big.
I see you inspiring others that are going to be coming up behind you, like you do now, because the energy that you bring to set, and I'm saying set being behind the scenes, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The energy that you bring is so positive. It's contagious. It's contagious.
That's the goal, always.
Well, baby, you make it happen.
Thank you. I say the same for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love it. So,
well, I knew this is why we clicked,
yes,
because
of
we have like minds. Do you want to do more fashion shows?
I would love to do more fashion shows. I would love to do more fashion shows. I think the only thing that's kind of holding me back from that right now is sometimes the financial part kind of holds me back, just because I've started this journey on my own, and meaning I've just moved out of my parents' house. So sometimes, adulting can take advantage for sure.
Absolutely.
But that and my work schedule. Sometimes my work schedule does not allow me to intervene with certain fashion shows and different casting calls and stuff like that. So, but when I do, it's always wonderful. But those are the only things that kind of keeps me from doing more fashion shows.
What is your 9 to 5?
I'm a dental assistant.
You're a dental assistant. No, look, all them pretty teeth.
Yes. Yes, I'm a dental assistant. I really love it too. I love it.
Cool.
Yes,
real cool. I bet you see all kinds of things.
I do. Yes, I do. And I did at first. Right now, I'm more so in the specialty of endodontics and root canals and a little microsurgery and things of that sort. So I'm not in the general dentistry side of things, meaning I'm not really utilizing my restorative knowledge and things like that. It's more just so root canal. So that's what we focus on every day at my office, which I love. I love it because it's a little bit more structured. Here comes that structure again. But I love a structured work lifestyle. So that's where I found myself to be more structured at, and that's where I just found myself to be around like-minded individuals as well. General dentistry, behind the scenes, it's like all over the place to me. And I feel like if my work life is all over the place, then my life outside of work is just all over the place.
I understand.
I don't ever want that to be. So
I understand.
Yeah.
So when do you plan to take a trip as far as trying to get outside of the Atlanta market?
You know, somebody told me that I had poor life quality because I have not planned to take a trip anytime soon, nor have I couldn't remember the last time that I took a trip. So I was told to live a little bit more and to not have such a poor life quality. They know who they is. I ain't gonna put them on the spot, but you know.
Can go right ahead.
It's all right. I'm gonna let him live today because he's watching.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I actually haven't made any plans to take a trip. I wanted to take a trip for my birthday this year, but work-life balance. I know. But I plan to take a trip for my birthday, but I don't think I'm going to follow through with it, only because I have other things that I haven't planned. Like I have photo shoots coming up that I'm still kind of putting together in my head. And then not only that, but I already had said that I was going to do a tasting party for my craft mixology line. So it's a lot. It's a lot of dilemmas going on. So I don't know when I'm going to plan a trip, but it's going to happen in God's time and with my work.
Well, maybe you can parlay your craft mixology and modeling all together at one time.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Maybe you'll be able to take the two and merge them together at one time and make a special trip. Maybe doing some bartending, but actually having a show presented where you are.
Yeah. See, that's great. And I've actually thought about that. I have. I don't want to say the only thing. I have thought about that. I just haven't put that into play as of yet. I'm still kind of putting together a photo shoot that will incorporate my bartending lifestyle as well. But for bartending right now, I don't want to say I haven't been taking it serious, but I actually just have a legit plan for bartending. And it has nothing really to do with modeling, but everything to do with barbering. So my whole madness behind the bartending thing was to own a bar and barber lounge. But in order for me to do that, I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, come on, I'm listening, baby. Let's talk about it. Give it to me.
But yes, so I do plan to put myself back in school to, get my barber license. So that way I can put that into works. So, but it's
will be the triple threat that everybody aspires to be.
Yes, definitely. So it's in the works for sure. It's slowly coming about, but I guarantee you, I have written everything that I'm talking about. I have written it down on paper multiple times, and I know it's gonna happen because I'm putting in the work. It's just gradually happening. So,
well, it's one thing at a time. Sometimes you have to focus in on something in order for something else to happen.
Right.
And that's okay. You can do that.
Yes. And
you're still young enough. You have time.
Yes, thank you. I don't want to keep that in my head though. That you have time.
No, time is a good thing. Time is a good thing. You just have to know how to barter your time amongst the skill sets that you want to develop.
For sure. And that's where I'm at. That work-life balance.
It's so refreshing to see someone with such wisdom at such a young age. You know,
you.
we don't see that anymore. And I hate to say it, but some young people don't want to hear from people like myself, you know,
Right.
us old heads that you want to call it, you know, they don't want to the wisdom, and they don't want to accept the wisdom. They don't want to
Right.
take time to listen, because a lot of people that are coming up behind you, a lot of people in general, a lot of models I know, a lot of models I know that are coming out, think they know everything,
Right. And
and
you
that they end up getting burned. You know,
exactly.
because they don't want to take the time to listen to young or old.
Right. And you have to be receptive. You have to be receptive, and you can't I would say we all learn from each other. And
Absolutely.
although you know what, this is where people mess up at, and I see this happen a lot because I used to do the same thing. When you're having a heart to heart with somebody, or they're sharing their story and you want to share yours as well, or you taking advice from people, and then they go back and they talk about it. It'll be like, oh well, it wasn't really meant for me. Or they'll say, oh, I did this because you suggested it, because that's the advice that you gave me. But
Mm-hmm.
as an individual, as an adult, you have to learn to decipher, like, between
Absolutely.
the things that are meant for you to take with you and utilize, and the things that just was an extra. It was a bonus to the story to get you to understand where the person was coming from. It wasn't necessarily put out there for you to take it and run with it and be like, oh, well, I'm gonna apply this to my life, because it doesn't work like that. You have to, take what applies to you, and then the rest that you don't take, just gracefully be like, well, that's not for me.
Right.
A lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people just be, you'll ask for, first of all, it's the blind leading the blind. Okay. Let's start there.
Yes.
And you just take what people are telling you and you just run with it. You just feel like you gotta, do everything that person said that they done or something like that. And it just doesn't work like that, because we all live different lives. Yeah, we may come across the same encounters and things of that sort, but we all respond differently, and the end result is all going to be different from what the next person has.
Absolutely. It's different for everybody, and
Right.
because we're all unique within ourselves.
Exactly.
And what we garner from each other's experiences is what we garner, what we take. And you have to have that ear and eye of discernment.
Right.
And that's the spirit of discernment, to know what's right for you. And then, like you said, get rid of everything else. And I think it's hard for people, it's hard for models, it's hard for industry people to really know that about themselves and learn that about themselves and what's working best, because everybody's trying to figure it out.
Exactly. When
There's
you
no
should have been
blueprint.
figuring it out before you got out there.
Okay. There's no actual blueprint on how to do it. But,
right.
But if you look around, and there are people you admire or people that you feel strongly about, then you can learn from them, vicariously live through them if you need to.
Right. Yeah.
But when you see people like yourself of good moral character, good standards, and just a wonderful attitude, I have to give it to you. I have to give it to you. I have to give you your flowers, baby, because you do.
Thank you.
Look at you. Look at you. Fabulous.
This was the first shoot I ever did with Daniel.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, it was. This was our first shoot together.
That was a nice capture, babe.
Yes, thank you.
I love that. I love it. This is one of my favorites. I love it. I love it.
Is it because of the colors?
It's just the overall look.
Just the overall look.
Yeah, okay. The whole thing. It works.
Thank you.
It pops off the page.
Thank
you.
See,
and this is boss bitch to me. This says boss bitch. That's it.
And what? That's exactly what I was going for. That's the reason why that picture deserved it on the only picture on that post. I was like, look, this picture is giving everything it needs to give for a post by itself.
Yes, it is. And some.
Yes, I love it. I love this picture too.
I love this. This whole series was really nice.
It was. Look, we had a time out there getting ate up by mosquitoes. We risked our lives this day, but everything turned out perfectly. And I actually got a 2-for-1. Like, I was just supposed to be shooting with my regular photographer, Nisha, but then she ended up networking like the day before that shoot with another photographer, and he wanted in on the shoot, and he's from South Carolina. He's South Carolina based, and so we all just kind of met up and we made that happen together. So I do have his pictures on my page as well, and his camera kind of gives like that dewy look, so you can kind of tell the difference between the artists there. So, but yeah,
cool.
I really enjoyed it.
And tell me about
this look here. So I was actually modeling some clothes for my esthetician. She is so awesome. That is the person that she pushes me every time I go and see her. She's like, Shelly, you really need to take modeling seriously. You just need to do this. I love her so much. But she started out as my esthetician, and when she found out that I modeled, then she was like, I need you to model these clothes for me so that way I can sell them. And so that's how this picture came about. We got together one night. She gave me a bunch of looks to put together, and this was one of the looks that we did. And I actually just got these pictures back this year because she's just been so busy. She can't send it back to me. And so every time I went to go see her, I'm like, girl, you know, you still ain't sent me that footage yet. And I've been waiting. I just been waiting. And she finally sent it to me, and they turned out beautifully. So she's not, this one too. So this is another one of those. I need to go and get that dress back from her, actually.
That dress nice.
Yes, that dress was nice, and it's one of my favorite colors. So I really love that dress. But this look was everything too. I love it. Yes, and this was also at her salon in Stockbridge.
Okay.
Yes, she's the bomb.
This looks like a New York loft.
Now, I don't even remember what the name of the studio was, honestly, for this one, but this is a shoot that I did with Daniel. And I actually didn't plan to do this outfit at all because this was like my going home outfit. And Daniel was just like, he was like, come over here. He was like, you're ready for another shoot. I was like, man, look, I'm ready to go home.
But it's good you got a photographer like that, willing to just let you be.
I know, and that's the reason why I just went ahead and did it anyways, because I was like, he see the vision in this outfit. I ain't have on no heels, but he was like, he see the vision in this outfit, so I'm gonna go along with it. This one, I really had fun with this shoot. I almost, gosh, what's nice that I can say about this? I don't actually converse with this photographer anymore. I really feel like throughout this shoot, it was like some negative energy, and not from him, but just the lady. The vibe was with. Yeah, the lady that he was with at the time. I don't think she really enjoyed the fact that I was modeling. So some of these pictures definitely show my uncomfortability, like so that's the reason. But I love the whole concept of the shoot. Like the dress was giving everything, and then when I found the cute little fan to go with it, everything just gave. But I probably should have done a little bit more as far as my props and things of that sort. So that's the only thing I got to say about that one.
How do you handle rejection? That's a good question. How do you handle rejection?
Rejection is just redirection. So I just take it and I run with it and I go try somewhere else. Yeah, I go do my thing somewhere else. There's nothing more to it, you know. I just it's not nothing to be angry about or to feel any type of way about. I just take it as it just didn't need to happen, or it just wasn't meant for it to happen with this right at this time, or with these group of people, or whatever's going on. So
have you found any jealousy?
Yeah, of course. I've had somebody that want to fight me because they were jealous. Couldn't understand for the life of me. Yeah, I couldn't understand for the life of me what they wanted to fight about. But then once I actually sat down with myself and I done the work, and I was just like, okay, well, you know, sometimes it's not about what you have, it's about what's in you. And a lot of times people can see what, you know, they can see the greatness. They can see the greatness that you can't see for yourself as of right now, and that triggers people. So yeah. You
walk in, you look like a model, you act like a model, you speak very well, you know, you have good moral character, you know, you're there on time, you're punctual, you're there on time, you do the job, you know, you do what's asked of you, and you do more because you leave it on the runway.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't take it. They just can't take it.
That is
You
true.
know, they just can't take it. And it's sad because it's all about model love.
Yes.
It's
No
all
need to
about
be.
being right here.
No need to be shabby.
No need whatsoever. No. What advice would you got? Final thoughts. That's
Final
what
thoughts.
what final thoughts. What advice would you give to somebody like you?
Well, my advice to everyone is to keep God first. I know that's really cliche for some people, but just keep God first for sure. Pray always. Make sure that you know who you are, and by doing that, you sit down with yourself. You unpack, you know, anything that you feel like has been holding you back. You unpack all of those traumas and things, and you just sit with yourself and really, really know, you know, really get to know who you are and the things where you want to go and where you're headed, and just have that confidence. Believe in yourself for sure. That is the biggest thing that I see with models coming along, is that, you know, we lose our self-confidence, and you cannot lose your self-confidence. So just, you know, take it easy, and really just do the work, and just fill it out.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you had to say. My final thought on that would be not only all the things you just said, but also to give yourself some grace.
Yes, definitely.
Give yourself
How
some
can I forget it?
okay? Give yourself some grace because we all mess up.
Yes, we
Everybody,
do.
you know, not everybody's going to be on time. Not everybody's going to be totally prepared. Not everybody's going to bring everything they need, you know, for a show. You're not going to mesh with all the designers that you may be walking for. You're not going to mesh with the photographers. They're going to miss your shot. You're going to have some messed up shots. I mean,
Exactly.
and you have to be ready to accept that about yourself. What
Yes.
didn't I do? You know, but you got to give yourself some grace.
Yes, definitely. You have to give yourself some grace. And another thing that I would like to put out there as well, I'm gonna be a little messy with this one, but don't ever tell a designer that you don't like what they designed.
Say that again.
Okay.
Say
Don't
it again.
ever tell a designer, oh, hey, I don't like this. This doesn't look good on me. Oh, this is ugly. Don't ever, honey. Keep that to yourself. Talk about it later with the other models by the time you finish the show. Okay. Don't ever tell a designer that. That is my final thought.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because we hear it far too often.
Yes.
And people
I
talk
don't
about
like
what
this.
they're not going to do.
Yes, that is the quickest way for people to tell you, yeah, I don't want to work with her again. I don't want to work with him again, because they're very much so insensitive. And not only that, but they're unprofessional. They don't know what they're doing. It just leaves room for a lot of messiness. So just go along with it. Even if it's the ugliest thing you've ever seen, like somebody just barked everywhere. Just go with it. Just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make it your own. Style it. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's why we bring things. You know, if they don't have if the designers don't have the things with them, hopefully you brought some things, or you can borrow from other models if you've got model love.
exactly.
You got model love. Some of us do.
Right. Not a lot of us.
Not a lot of us, but some of us do share,
yes.
You know, and say, you know, hey, let's just have a beautiful show. Let's have a
Right.
good time and a beautiful show and rock what we're given.
Yes,
that's what we have
definitely.
To do.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate you being on. You are a beautiful spirit. We are going to work together again. We need to do a photo shoot together.
We will. And we will.
Yes.
Because, you know, my photographer is always looking for new faces to help build her portfolio.
Okay.
I do want to put out there that she's a boudoir photographer, so that is her style. I like to tell people what they're getting themselves into. I know when people think boudoir, they think, oh, the first thing they think is like lingerie, or I got to be naked or something like that. But it's a lot more creativity that you can put into it. You do not have to be naked. You don't even have to show your body. But
like we say, put some clothes on. How about that?
Put some clothes on, right? Put your clothes on. Make it look. And if you don't have a lot of clothes on, just make it look elegant. Make it look like you do got some clothes on. That you know you care about the world not seeing your goodies. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I love you, because you have decorum, darling. You have decorum.
Thank you. I love you too. Much love. Model love.
Welcome to Modelz Talk. Let's talk about it.